win a £50,000 prize in their weekend monster. It's game week 10. We're going to go through it later, how you play to pick your fantasy team. If you enter this weekend with us at the Football Terrace, you could win up to £50,000. Now, big breaking news surrounding Manchester United. Brendan Rodgers linked to the United job this morning via ESPN. We're going to delve into that story in a little bit more detail. I mean, I'm intrigued by this one. I'm intrigued to get your views and opinions. Will Brendan Rodgers be a good appointment for Man United? Can you see this happening? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Before that, though, get that like button smashed right now. Look at that. Or before we go live, already have nearly 50 people liking it. Is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much indeed. OB, Terry, I made you. Cool. Cheers for making me, bro. Cheers for I don't quite know what you mean by that, but thank you anyway, OB, for making me my guy. Absolute legend. You're here anyway. Afternoon, Terry. I hope you're well. I'm very, very good indeed. I am. I'm going to bring a gal out now to have you say we're going to delve into the Brendan Rodgers news, then predict the outcome of the Premier League's weekend fixtures and pick. You're going to help me pick my fantasy team because I'm entering this week as well. I'm going to win the £50,000 prize. If you want to enter, the links are in the live chat. Links are in the description as well. Make sure the like button is smashed. Igal is now here with me. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, Terry. Everything's blessed over here. How you been today?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not bad. I'm very nervous about this weekend as a Manchester United fan, which I think most people can kind of understand and kind of get. How about yourself? How are you looking forward to this weekend's football?
Of course, man. Arsenal's on a decent run recently, and I just want us to keep it going as long as we can. I honestly don't want to get drawn back into the whole manager debate. I just want to see my team winning every game possible.
And I totally get that. I do. And we'll delve on. That's one of the first games we talk about and predict a little bit later. I wanted to ask your thoughts first. Actually, what we'll do, we'll go through the report first of all. So the reports today have come from Mark Ogden from ESPN. He says that Brendan Rodgers is potentially going to be the new manager at Man United should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lose his job. They keep saying if. I think we all kind of know that it's a bit of a when with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They're looking at replacing him with Brendan Rodgers. He has some admirers at the club. Some of the senior figures have been very impressed with what he has done at Leicester. There are others, though, that over the last few years have always said that it wouldn't happen. He got Liverpool in his blood. He was the Liverpool manager. Man United would never touch him because of those reasons. Obviously, viewers, I want your take. I want your opinions. Would you like to see Brendan Rodgers as the man? If you're a Man United fan, would you like to see him as the manager or not? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that. But Igal, from your standpoint, Brendan Rodgers to Man United, does it make sense and would it be a good appointment?
Two things. One, will your fan base look at him and view him as a former Liverpool manager? Because he was a former Liverpool manager, but the fact that he was never successful with Liverpool, if he is ever successful with Manchester United, then he would be stapled as a Manchester United manager that failed at Liverpool and succeeded at Manchester United. So that is one plus. Two, would he ever leave Leicester for Manchester United? I think he would because he's a very ambitious manager. He's left Celtic for Leicester. I think he would leave Leicester for Manchester United. And if he paid the fee, Leicester would just let him go. I've heard Leicester fans midweek messaging me on Twitter saying, oh, he would never leave Leicester. Unfortunately, guys, let me tell you guys right now, straight in the camera, he would leave Leicester for Manchester United. He is such a big personality that he views himself as a top manager and he would not miss this opportunity. I think he would come. And I think if he did come to Manchester United, it would be a good step. It would be a good step for the club, and it would be a scalp. You guys would be weakening a competition in the Premier League, and you'll be taking one of the best managers in the league already, bring him to your team. That would be one of the most ambitious moves you guys have done in a long time.
I hear a lot of what you're saying. I've got a comment here from Daniel. Daniel says Rodgers should continue on the project with Leicester. There's still more to come with Leicester. Man United leave Rodgers alone is what Daniel's got to say. A super chat here from Jayling's fam. He says, Terry, if we lose tomorrow, will Ollie get sacked? And we'll touch on that in a few moments, Jaylings. Thank you, everybody, for the super chat so far. I've got three trains of thought with Brendan Rodgers. The first is 110% our football improves with Brendan Rodgers. We become a better footballing team instantly. We move the ball better patterns of play in the attack, better structure defensively. We become a better footballing side. Okay. I'm still not convinced, though. The second point is I'm not convinced he is a good enough manager to take a giant like Man United over the line. Can he compete against Tuchel, Pep, Klopp? Can he handle the pressure that comes with being the Man United manager? He didn't handle it at Liverpool. Has he improved enough in the last 7 or so years to handle Manchester United? That's a big question mark. The third element is he is ex-Liverpool. And for me, there's something about that burns a little bit. However, what you've said is bang on. It can work the other way. If he comes to Man United and is successful, it's a great thing to banter Liverpool with. He fouled under your regime, but look what he's done for us. So, people forget that Sir Matt Busby was a Liverpool player. He was a Liverpool player and a very good Liverpool player, I understand. But he's not the founding father of Manchester United, but he was the first figurehead that gave this club continued dominance and success. But, he was Liverpool first. So it's happened before. It could happen again. I just look at it. I don't know, though. It's just something about this story that feels a little bit off to me. And I could be completely wrong. He could be the number one choice. To your point, though, would he leave Leicester for Man United? Yes. Any Leicester fan that's kidding themselves over that I think, by the way, he would have left for Arsenal if Arsenal went in hard for him. I think if Newcastle, the Newcastle job is probably a little bit too early. There was talk about him being on a shortlist for Manchester City as well, and him waiting around for that job potentially. So there's lots of scope in this.
The only reason, Terry, why he wouldn't leave is if they somehow doubled up his wages again. Now that there's links to Manchester United. Because the only I feel like that was a big driving factor in why he stayed when Arsenal links were going on, anyways. Because they gave him a pay rise, they secured his wages, and if they can do that again and reinvest in him and show him that they really care about having him part of their project, then he might stay. But in my opinion, Manchester United come knocking. It's a different knock. It's not like this is like Real Madrid coming to a Spanish manager. He's been around the English game for a long time. He's wanted to manage at the top level since leaving Liverpool. He has a point to prove. If he comes to Manchester United, he has the ego and the personality to say, you know what, I will take this on and I'll try to make you guys a winner. And I think Brendan Rodgers is highly respected now in the game. If he makes that move from Leicester to Manchester United, I believe you guys could win some things very, very soon.
Yeah, I think what's interesting for me about that is whoever we bring in, they have to be a winner. They have to be somebody with an appetite to want to win. Every manager that's linked with us, there is a percentage of football fans that are like, wow, that'd be an amazing signing. There is this other percentage that are, whether it's Conte, whether it's Zidane, whether it's Poch, there's another percentage that think it would be a bad appointment. So there is this part of me that thinks nobody really knows. Nobody really knows who is and isn't going to be successful in these cases. So it'll be an interesting one. But viewers, I would like your take. I want to know what you're thinking and feeling. Let's go to some more of your live comments coming through here. Dwayne T says the Glazers don't want Conte because they know he will challenge their ambition to win. Cedric says, what if Rodgers didn't want to live in London? Then he wouldn't go there, I suppose. Twisted says, big up to the mods. Absolutely. Big up the moderators in the house today and everybody else. He's won an FA Cup, to be fair, is what Chris says. Yeah, and that's my point about, is he ready for Man United? So as much as he won it with Leicester, he wasn't expected to. How is Brendan Rodgers going to handle having to win, where coming second is deemed failure? Conte's done that. Conte has been at clubs that have to win. Zidane has been at clubs that have to win. Luis Enrique, clubs and nations that have to win. That's my problem, really, with the other people we're linked to. How do they operate when they have to win games, have to win trophies? I feel like it's a very different conversation. And yes, Rodgers, Ten Hag, and Poch is kind of doing that to a degree at PSG. And people say he's failing. I'm seeing on social, people say he's not doing a great job. So my point is, with the other three I've mentioned, they've all been successful when having to win. And that's why they're just stronger candidates for me. Let's do some more of your comments here. let's do some more. Let's do some more comments here. 1 second. I want to. They need to be comments though. Not. I can't put up comments where you're all having a pop at each other. I want to read something out. Abdi here says, "But Terry, would United really pay the compensation when we failed to do so with Poch, unless it's 8 million fee?" Yeah, maybe not, bro. I can't answer that. And I'm just, if you don't think they'll do that, then that's your view, bro. I don't know whether we'll pay the compensation or not. I kind of agree with you. I don't think we will. But yeah, it's kind of in that space. We're going to get ahead now and start looking at the predictions for next week as well. We'll still take your comments on the Brendan Rodgers situation as well. Getting close towards 200 likes as well now, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you to everybody that's been hitting that like button so far. Really appreciate that on the terrace. First big game this weekend, Igal, that I want to speak on is Leicester versus Arsenal. Leicester versus Arsenal. Very, very big match. Give me your take going into that game.
Okay, so Arsenal have been on a good run, and Leicester have turned around their form from the beginning of the season. I feel like, if you guys remember last year, we went to Leicester's house and we beat them quite convincingly with Willian and Nicolas Pepe having good performances. I feel like this game is going to be a little bit closer though, based on both our recent forms. I back my team to win, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. But I'm only going with a narrow victory because I feel like Leicester's recent form, in addition to Arsenal's recent form, I feel like Arsenal can get us over the line. And I feel like we're just going to have too much for Leicester.
Too much for Leicester, really? Even after the way they battered Manchester United, you still think you'll have too much for them? In what?
Yeah, but you also lost to Aston Villa, and we beat them convincingly. So every team in this league can win on any given day. But I just feel like Arsenal's recent form, plus going to the 4-4-1-1 with Lacazette and Aubameyang playing, the harmony in the squad, I just feel like we're on a good upward and a turn, and we might keep this going. But I could also see, if I was being a little bit pessimistic, I could also see a draw. But I don't see us losing this game in any way or form. I don't think Leicester are going to win this game.
Interesting take. Viewers, what we do want you to do, whether you're watching live or you're watching the playback, give us your score predictions for all the Premier League games this weekend. We want to hear that from you. And I'm going to do you a little bit of a deal. I'm going to do you all a little bit of a deal. The person who gets the most right, so it'll be the most results, and then if, say, two of you have got 8 results right, it'll be the person who gets the most correct scores. Next week, I will give you a free entry into the £50,000 prize draw to play with Fan Team. I will personally put your entry in, pick the team that you want, for you to have a chance to win £50,000. So get your predictions in. If you're watching live, though, you need to make sure they save. So you have to watch the show afterwards again and have comment section. So at the end of the show, put all your score predictions in there for us. I'm going to go for a 2-2, in this game, personally. I'm going to go for 2-2. I feel that Leicester have turned a bit of a corner. They're dangerous when they attack. And it's a real acid test for Arsenal again this week, because what I find with Arsenal, your defense has improved. That your clean sheet record at the minute is great. There is absolutely no doubting or denying that. I think it would be disrespectful to. However, every time this season you've played a very good footballing team, you've been second best. You haven't lost all those games, but you've been second best. And if you're able to outperform Leicester, like you did Leeds in the week, like you did Aston Villa last Friday, if you're able to do that this week, I think you're going to see a lot of people, especially neutrals and rivals, kind of slow down when it comes to their kind of pessimistic view of Arsenal Football Club. So I think it's a really big acid test for you. I am going to go over 2-2 draw. But by the way, 2-2 draw at the King Power Stadium isn't a bad result. Like, I don't even think that's a bad result to come out. That's what I'm going with personally. Neil O'Callaghan here says, Conte is a short-term manager which will stifle the progress made by United. He will bring success, 1 year max, but the board will eventually stop giving him what he wants, and United will go backwards. You think Conte will take Man United backwards, Miguel?
I think no. I don't think he'll take you backwards. I just think it will be a situation that can turn left quite quickly, because Conte has gotten into arguments with people in Juventus about the board level. He's gotten into arguments with Chelsea about lack of investment. So if he's not given everything he wants on a plate, he's going to start problems. I'm not saying it's going to go backwards, but I just feel like it is you're setting yourself up for a situation where he's going to challenge your board, and is your board going to like that? Because I don't think if he came to Arsenal tomorrow, I think there might be some issues with Arsenal's board also. I think he's someone who's so demanding and demands so much from his club that you almost need to give him full autonomy. And I don't think any club is going to give him full autonomy.
Do you know what's interesting about that? See, for me, that's kind of why I want it. People say go backwards. Man United can't go backwards. There is no progression. I'm at a point, and now I'm one of these people. I believe you can change your thoughts and feelings when you're educated. I get a little feeling in my gut that all this stuff they said they've built under Ollie, they're willing to scrap it for the next manager anyway, which means there is no progression, which means it doesn't matter who we bring in. So I hear your points. Let's wait to see. Neil Callahan, thanks for that super chat. Alan here says Leicester 2, Arsenal 1. Arsenal are playing well at home, but away from home, they have been awful. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings on that. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be, I'm just looking here at the games that are coming up tomorrow. I want to kind of go in order. Burnley, Brentford.
I'll go first if you want. I personally feel like it's going to be a Brentford win. I feel like Burnley have been poor this whole season, and majority of times when they're at home, they don't perform well. I don't think they've even won back-to-back games in the league at all. So I don't expect them to win. And I think Brentford missing their goalkeeper now, David Raya getting injured, it is a big miss. But Brentford just have been playing better football. They've looked like they've been getting good results against bigger teams. And the way that they play, they're going to make it difficult for Burnley. And I feel like Burnley are going to struggle to score against Brentford. Their defense has been really good and compact. And I'm just going to give Brentford the 1-0 win.
Brentford with the 1-0 win there. I'm going to go with Brentford as well. I think they'll do a job tomorrow. I think they'll play Burnley off the park. I'm actually going to go for a 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1 in that game to Brentford, and they're going to pick up the victory again. The next game, this is going to be, I think, could be quite a delicious game to watch. Liverpool versus Brighton. What's your take on Liverpool versus Brighton?
I watched the Brighton versus Man City game, and Brighton had a good chance to score some goals near that end of that game, but they just didn't have the cutting edge. And I feel like it's going to be a similar situation versus Liverpool. Liverpool, when you play against Liverpool, they play at a certain level, and if you can't match that level, you're going to get beat 3-0. So I feel like Liverpool are going to convincingly beat Brighton 3-0 in this game.
Yeah, you can't look beyond Liverpool right now. You just can't. That they are in the most scintillating form. They're playing amazing football. They just look. The only way this goes anywhere near Brighton in Brighton's favor is if Liverpool get a red card in the first 10 minutes. Like I'm talking, it would have to be something that extreme where Liverpool and a couple of players have to come off with injuries or something like that. Brighton,
Terry, I think Liverpool are not being spoken about as title favorites for some reason, and it beats me. I think the form that they're on, if Salah and Mane are only gone for a couple games for AFCON and they have enough of a lead to hold on to this title, they could overtake Chelsea and Man City as title favorites, in my opinion. And at this point, it's a three-horse race.
What are they then are they title favorites in your opinion?
I think it's a three-horse race at this point, and any one of them can win it. We need to.
Yeah, I get that. But who do you think is going to win it?
Who do I think is going to win it? I still think City's going to win it, but at this point, I'm not looking past Liverpool anymore. I've made that mistake in the past, and I just want to say I shouldn't have looked past them after the Brentford result. The Brentford result is now become a normal thing. Everyone's kind of dropping points against Brentford, so I just want to say, respect to Liverpool, just ticking away and doing their business week in, week out.
Yeah, I feel like with Brighton this week, Brighton play football, they open up. When you play football and open up against Liverpool or City, you're on a hiding to nothing, and that's why they got slapped by City, and they're going to get slapped. I'm going with a 5-1 victory this weekend for Liverpool. I think it's going to be another absolute cracker of a game.
5-1, wow.
The next match, Man City versus Crystal Palace. What are you saying there?
I'm saying Crystal Palace have given Man City problems in the past, but I don't see that happening again. I think it's going to be another one of those games where Man City just get the early goals, they get a 2-goal lead, and they just control the game for the rest of the game. Because Man City, they'll control the game and just not give you a second of the ball. I think playing Man City is one of the most frustrating things because you won't get a sniff of the ball the whole entire game. So that's what's going to happen to Crystal Palace, and it's going to be a 2-0 for me. I don't know about you, Terry, but I just don't see Crystal Palace beating Man City. I know they've done it before, but not this time.
Again, I think they play too openly now. They're very good under Vieira. Vieira gives me the vibes that he'll try and play at times, and it's just Man City and Liverpool when they're at their best. They have got, if I think of them as a fighter, they've got great defense. They've got great chin, so they're resilient, but they've got knockout power. So if you go toe to toe with them, it's almost impossible to win. Like if you ever, have you ever had a proper fight in a ring?
Have I had a proper fight in the ring? No, but I've had proper fights in the street.
Okay, so no, I'm saying in the ring it's a little different because there's a different kind of fear factor. I remember having a fight once. It was a full contact fight. I was Thai boxing, and I got in the ring with this guy. And every time he kicked and punched me, the power he had, and we were the same weight, the power he had was like nothing I'd ever felt before in my life. And I landed flush on his jaw about 5 times, and he didn't move him. And mentally, I was like, I'm losing this fight if I open up, because I was like, he hits harder than me, and he can take my power. So it was like, I can't try and trade. So I just stayed away and Thai boxed very sensibly, and I won on points. But it was like, that's because I had to adapt, because if I opened up against this guy and my jaw was out, this guy would have sparked my plugs. And I feel like the way Brighton, we mentioned with Liverpool, the way Palace now under Vieira, I think when he comes up against Man City, I think they're going to open up too much, and they're going to get caught on that jaw, and they're going to be laying on the ground with their toes curled up, unconscious. I'm going to go for another big prediction on this. I'm going to say 4-0 to Manchester City. 4-0.
I can see that.
Viewers, remember to get your predictions in. You can do it in the live comments now, but when the show finishes, I want all your predictions for this weekend in a comment section below. The winner, you're going to get a free entry next week into the £50,000 fantasy football league that we do every single weekend with Fan Team. We're going to pick my team on that a little bit later, so stay with us and find out how you can win £50,000 this weekend by entering that as well. Yeah, honestly, that's one of my funniest things to look at when someone gets knocked out in fighting is, did their toes curl up? Like, did it happen? Like, I had a good friend of mine, Andy. He got badly knocked out in a fight once, and his nickname for years after that was Crow Toes, because his feet almost like bent over, like that they arched so bad when he went out. His name was Crow Toes for a long time because of that. It was funny. Not funny to anybody else, but he got back. Yeah, his knockout was one of the worst knockouts I've ever seen in my life. He was unconscious while standing up still, but he was standing up. I couldn't believe it. And then the guy hit him again when he was unconscious. Oh, that was so bad. He got anyway, getting flashbacks.
Have you ever been knocked out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sparked. I only never in a fight in a ring. I've always covered up. In training, 3 times I've been absolutely. Twice I've been like, I kind of knew I was being. I went dizzy, hit the ground.
I used to do UFC moves before UFC existed, like monkey paw stuff.
Oh, okay. No, so yeah, I mean, I got hit once so hard in training, I was unconscious for probably like a minute, but like I don't remember anything before or after for like an hour or 2. Even to this day,
Did you get up like
no, I didn't get up. I think I got absolutely, but it was an accident actually. I was holding pads and someone missed a pad and just cleaned me out cold. It was terrible. Like it hurt so bad. It was so bad. Right, let's move on to the next game. Newcastle versus Chelsea. Lots of big 3 o'clock games tomorrow. Newcastle, Chelsea.
I think Chelsea have looked good, man. I know it's Norwich, the Norwich tax. Like, honestly, Norwich just made Chelsea look like world beaters. But Newcastle, I'm giving Chelsea the edge here. I think Chelsea's going to win 2-0. I think they're just going to have too much for Newcastle. And I don't think Newcastle's going to get a goal in this game, even though they're at home. Chelsea's just going to they're going to do similar to what they did last year against Newcastle. It's going to be a game where Newcastle keep trying to knock down the door, but Chelsea's defense just keeps them Chelsea defense is just too solid. They keep the clean sheet and they get 2 goals and they just sit on it until the end of the game.
Yeah, I think Chelsea, again, I'm not going to go for bigger predictions before. I think I'm going to go for a 3-0. I think Chelsea, again, are just going to, they're turning up. They're starting to purr now. And yeah, it's Newcastle are in a bit of trouble. They're in a little bit of trouble, and they're going to lose again this weekend. It's going to put a lot of pressure on them. I just can't see, like, legitimately can't see anything other than a Chelsea win in this game. I really can't. Cedric here says 2-0 Chelsea.
Do they look better without Lukaku?
It's too early to say. That's the thing. They played Norwich. Norwich are, again, very opened. Norwich are the exact same team as I spoke about. I feel like, like everybody now wants their clubs to play attacking, progressive football.
Yeah,
it's great, but if too much of that happens, it'll make the Premier League like the Bundesliga, where the big teams invariably just blitz the smaller teams each time they play, and it'll be boring. What I love about football in England is how you'll get like your Stokes and Boltons and Burnleys that are anti-football in terms of how they play, but they make it hard for you to break them down. If every team plays like Norwich, if Burnley played like Norwich, they get beat every week. So it's almost like it doesn't make sense to me. So Norwich confuse the living. They don't have the players to play how they play, but they do it anyway. It's crazy. It's honestly, it's suicidal football in my opinion.
Just to speak on Chelsea for a second, I genuinely feel like I don't know what they're going to do for the front three going forward. Because if they do look better without Lukaku, and a lot of the fans, I'm starting to hear the fans who were saying in the summer they didn't want Lukaku at all are coming back to those takes. And it's like, if public opinion becomes that they're a smoother team without Lukaku, I feel like they might rush back Lukaku just to make the PR of the club, make him look like he's needed. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming from the wrong angle, but like if they start to look good without Lukaku for 3 weeks going, and he comes back and they look bad, there's going to be questions to be had.
I don't know. I think if Lukaku played in the game against Norwich, they would have still scored that amount of goals. He's a very good player, Lukaku. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm not convinced about that one yet. I think it's a weird narrative for a team that are cruising in the Champions League, top of the Premier League, practically impregnable when it comes to people attacking them, hard to contain when they attack, one of the best goal-scoring teams in the league. And I think we're nitpicking a bad thing about them, but yet with City and with Liverpool, it's like all hail and praise. I feel like all three are just amazing myself. But there we go. Viewers, what do you think? Keep those score predictions coming in. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. There is a little bit of an update here, though. There's Solskjaer has confirmed here. This is from Fabrizio Romano. He says Solskjaer has confirmed he spoke with Sir Alex Ferguson. He said, we had a commercial day at Carrington and Sir Alex spoke with me briefly. We spoke for a brief moment because he was in there with Cristiano Ronaldo. So it turns out that again, like I said yesterday, I didn't think that Sir Alex was there. I was like, well, did anybody actually see him? Turns out he was at the training ground. But the way the media tried to portray it the other day is that Fergie woke up in the morning, gathered up the mandem, went down there mob-handed, 3 or 4 blacked out cars and protected Ollie. Now, he was there anyway for a commercial day. If we'd have beaten Liverpool 5-0, he would have been there. If we'd have lost 10-0, he would have been there. If Ollie was facing the sack or been given a new deal, he would have been there. So again, this whole slander this week that people have put out towards Fergie, turns out he's not a problem at all. He was there for a commercial reason. That is the long and the short of that one. Thank you, Fabrizio Romano, for the update. Right. Next game, Watford-Southampton. Watford-Southampton.
Ooh, Watford looked good, man, that last game, but I just feel like Southampton are just. It could be a situation where both teams get on the goal score, get on the goal sheet, and Southampton and Watford just get a draw, because I see both teams going into this game with good form. And if I had to pick a winner, I would pick Southampton, but I think it's going to end up a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go over Watford. I'm going to go over a Watford win. Actually, I think Watford will win at home 2-1. I think they'll be buoyant after last week, and they'll go and do that. Viewers, what do you think here? Thank you, by the way, to my man here for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace, an academy member. Thank you very much indeed. Getting towards 300 likes as well, ladies and gentlemen. That's so humbling. Thank you very, very much indeed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well, and you sign up to today's sponsors, Fan Team. The link's in the live comment section and in the description below. You can win 50,000. If you're good at fantasy football, stay with us because £50,000 is up for grabs this week.
Terry, could I just challenge you on that Fergie point 1 second? Do you genuinely believe that Fergie, if he came out and told them that it might be time to move on Ollie, that Ollie would still be in the job?
So I didn't get a chance to get Rob on this week, but a number of really credible journalists have all said that Fergie has no power. He has no voting power. He isn't consulted on football making decisions at the club. So, no. I thought he was. And then it's crazy. So the one journalist that put all this out there, I've never seen one of his tweets have such small traction in my life. Nobody retweeting it, sharing it, talking about it, because I think the mood amongst Man United fans was pure anger. And it was like, well, that's a bit of news that kind of subdues us and makes us calm down. I don't want to calm down. So Fergie's a bad man this week. But yeah, I don't think Fergie's done very much at all to protect him. I really, really don't personally. But just based on what I've been told by people. So awesome here says, thoughts, if Harry Kane goes to Newcastle for a rebuild in Jan, if Man City don't want him anymore, do you think things will change for Newcastle? Oh, and they'll score more goals if you've got Harry Kane in your team, and you've got to create for Harry Kane as well. Like, even the best goal scorers in the world, 90% of their goals there's someone creating it for them. So I still feel like Harry Kane's only a good signing in January if there's 2 or 3 more quality players joining at the same time. That'd be my take on it, really.
They need to go to Brighton and get Lewis Dunk, or they need to get a midfielder. They need to get like 3-4 signings. Spending all that money on Harry Kane would be almost suicide. I genuinely don't believe if they get just Harry Kane, that's not going to be enough to get them higher up the table.
Yeah, they need more than Harry Kane. 110%. Couldn't agree.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more, mate. Absolutely. Right. Next prediction. Egal, Tottenham, Man United. Tottenham, Manchester United. What are you saying, my friend? Okay.
So I've thought about this long and hard. And it's not about what's better for me as a fan. It's just what I think is going to happen. I genuinely feel like this is going to be a game where Tottenham are going to go into it and they're going to win. I know a lot of people are saying Manchester United are going to bounce back after the Liverpool game, but I feel like Tottenham are going to win this game. Tottenham are going to move on. They need these points as much as Manchester United do. And if Tottenham can go ahead and get some sort of result out of this game, it will push them on. But if Manchester United lose this game, it could be the thing needed to get Ollie out. So I might. And if the players perform the same way they performed against Manchester United, where they look like they don't know if they're going to press, if they're not going to press, if they're still disjointed and there's some disharmony in the club, I don't see you guys win. I don't see Manchester United winning this game. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win.
It's an interesting one. I mean, I'm going for a Tottenham win as well. I think for all the shenanigans going on at Man United, I cannot for the life of me see a win. I feel like I do feel like the players are going to go out there and start the game. I'm not necessarily going to say well. They're going to go out there and try and win. It's again been a lot of nonsense this week. Why is Ronaldo trying to galvanize the troops? Because none of the players want to lose this weekend. Why would they want to lose? It's a weird concept to think, oh yeah, we want to lose. They don't. But I think if one thing goes wrong in the game, so Liverpool Spurs scores first, United's heads will go. There's all this tumultuous toxicity coming out of the club, and I just don't think it's going to go away in the space of a week. And United are going to get beat. There's going to be a lot of goals in this game now. I'm going for a 3-2 Tottenham win. I think it's going to be open. Defensively, we'll probably score because Spurs are not as good as Liverpool. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-2. Tottenham.
I spoke to a lot of Spurs fans, Terry, and they told me they're not confident in this game. Even some Spurs fans in the comment section. I spoke to Alan. He told me he thinks Manchester United are going to bounce back against Spurs because the way they've been playing, they're not that good either. So it's like both teams are not going in confident. But as a fan, how do you feel about people saying they want their team to lose and everything? Because I personally, even if it meant the next game Arteta was going to get sacked, I never want my team to lose. I want us to always win, week in, week out.
Yeah, well, look, Lee S obviously said on the BV Top 6 show last night that he wants United to lose, but it wasn't about Ollie. It was about he wants the Glazers embarrassed. I don't agree with wanting my team to lose, but I completely understand his thought process and logic. And I think that's where people are like, some Man United fans want to lose because they believe that's a tough love that's needed. Others feel like you're not being a fan if you want your team to lose. And I think some people are looking more short term, some are looking more long term. I get it from both sides. I don't personally want to lose. I can't want to lose, but I think we will. Interestingly, though, there are a lot of people that think Ollie's going to do well in these next 3 games. They just think that Ollie's going to beat Spurs, beat Atalanta, nick a draw against Man City. And you asked me a few weeks ago whether I was scared of this run of games that we've got coming up. And my real reason for not being scared is that, one, looking ahead for games at the time you asked me were a month away. I hadn't even thought about. I'm more scared of winning these matches at the moment than I am losing them. Because doing well in these games means we'll probably keep Ollie. And I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he's never winning us a Premier League, and he's never never going to win us a Champions League, in my opinion. That's my belief. I've believed that for a long time now. So I'm not fearful of these games through us being beat. I'm fearful that we'll get a few positive results, and then we paper over cracks, and then we go another 4 or 5 weeks where we're doing okay again. Then we have another bad run and meltdowns, and then we do okay for 4 or 5 weeks, and it's just the inconsistencies are there. So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, what would your score prediction be? Did you say for this game?
Say it again. I said 2-1. 2-1 for Spurs.
There we go. Viewers, we want your thoughts, want your feelings on this game. How you think the game's going to go, what is the score going to be, etc., etc. Sunday, Norwich, Leeds.
Okay, I've thought about this long and hard. I've spoken to some Leeds fans. I was speaking to Joe, if you guys already know Joe. But when it comes to Leeds, they've been terrible lately. They've been struggling to get results. They have no confidence even going into this game. Rafinha seems to be a late doubt, but he's going to be able to play. And they're down there near the bottom. If they lose this game to Norwich, they're well in a relegation fight. So they need to win this game. And at the same time, Norwich, what is the point of Norwich, Terry? Like they actually have been playing so bad. I think at this point, Norwich literally just comes up to go down and get that parachute money every year. So I feel like Norwich are gonna lose, but it's going to be a tight 1-0 where Leeds just nick it at the end. I don't see it being an open game for Leeds. I don't see Leeds wiping the floor with them. I think it's just going to be one of those boring games where a team nicks it at the end.
Yeah, I've gone for a 2-2 draw on this game myself. I'm glad that Bielsa is being exposed for the good manager. He's a good manager at the elite level. I'm sick and tired of hearing people calling him a great manager, a brilliant manager, an outstanding manager. No. If you're a brilliant, elite, astounding manager, at his age, you've managed one of the elite, astounding, brilliant, great clubs. He hasn't. Not in my opinion, he hasn't. And plays good, beautiful attacking football, there's no doubt, but that isn't what football is about. And I think football fans have been kind of indoctrinated in recent years to believing that if you play good attacking football, that makes you a great manager. Well, you have to win the major trophies. You have to win Premier Leagues or league titles in major countries and Champions Leagues to be even considered great, in my opinion. So calling Bielsa great for me is an abomination of football. I think he's a very talented coach. It is. It just is. I think Greers and a few Leeds fans are calling me out, and I'm like, I reserve the word great for Pep and Klopp. You can't put Bielsa on their level. So if they're great, how can Bielsa be great? It doesn't even make sense.
No, but relative to the level of players that he has,
there's no relativity. He's managing at the elite level. If he was great, I'll give you an example. If you've got a player in your squad that's as good as Lionel Messi, it doesn't matter if he's at Arsenal now or not. He will elevate and get himself. He will still win the Ballon d'Or, won't he?
Okay, what about like if you were once touted as one of the best managers in the world and you're now managing a lesser side, do you still consider that person a great manager?
Depends what they're. If for instance,
Like
they've won.
Ancelotti, Benitez,
Yes, of
and
course,
Everton.
because they're great now in the contemporary. They may not be great, but they've got a great status within the game. They've won league titles, they've won Champions Leagues. They're great. You can't take that away from someone who's like. Although I think Jose Mourinho is past his best, he's still a great manager in the history of the game. Bielsa hasn't achieved. That's the point. You've just named Ancelotti, Benitez, Mourinho. Compare what they've achieved to Bielsa. He can't be called great. It's ridiculous. And that's not me having a pop at Leeds. I think he's a good manager at the elite level. Maybe you can call him really good. But the point is, what has he achieved?
I'm looking at his CV. It's really just like what he's done in Argentina and runners up in the Europa League, runners up in the Copa del Rey, and winning the championship.
And people twist what I'm saying. Great. Think about the great managers. You think Arsene Wenger's a great manager, right?
Of course.
Is Bielsa as good as Arsene Wenger?
I think Arsene Wenger is a legendary manager. I don't even think you should be considering him, putting him in that great package. No.
Okay, so he's even above that. Who do you consider a great manager?
A great manager. I would say like right now, a great manager in the league. You look at Thomas Tuchel and what
Is
he's done.
Bielsa as good as Thomas Tuchel?
No.
And he ain't great. Like I'm just saying that. Like for me, it's not. It's a bit like my Eden Hazard situation. I think Eden Hazard, world-class player. When I used to say he was overrated, is when people were saying he's on Messi's level. Shut your mouth. Nonsense. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Terry, I 100% agree with you about Bielsa overrated. This is the thing. When you're not always calling someone rubbish because you're saying they're overrated. It's like calling him a great. I think that word being used in the same title as Bielsa is an abomination as far as I'm concerned. Hit that like button for us, people, and that share button. We want your predictions in as well. Next game, final game, Aston Villa, West Ham. Aston Villa, West Ham.
Aston Villa, West Ham, 2-1 West Ham. I think West Ham are going to be too much for Aston Villa. West Ham are amazing, have been playing amazing all season. Mikel Antonio's on goal scoring form. And majority of their team is fit, if I'm not mistaken. So at this moment, I'm gonna go 2-1 West Ham. And Aston Villa didn't look that good versus us last week. So I'm just thinking West Ham are going to be too much for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going with a West Ham win as well. I'm going to go for a West Ham 2-1 win. They look great at the minute. I actually think their squad, they need to buy someone else in January. But with the way Moyes got them playing, if Man United don't improve, they could legit challenge for this top 4 place proper. They really, really could. They really, really could.
I think eventually they're going to go away because they're just an Antonio injury away from lacking the goal scoring to win to get them up, to keep them up there. They just don't have enough squad depth, in my opinion, to keep them up there. But they definitely, when fully healthy, they can go toe to toe with the majority of the teams in the league. They just beat Man City in the Carabao Cup.
Exactly. Chelsea fan here says West Ham 2-0.
I think you missed one more game. There's Everton Wolves.
Oh, was that on Monday night? Okay, yeah. Go on then. What's the prediction on that? And then we've got to go to the fantasy thing.
I'm going Wolves. I think Wolves are going to win 2-1. I think Everton have been poor as of late. And the moment Decore got injured, and now they still have Kevin Lewin out, and they've just been bit with the injury bug. And Wolves have looked a lot better, especially beating Aston Villa a couple of weeks back. I think Wolves are going to take this game 2-1, in my opinion. I've gone with a lot of 2-1s, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, they were poor last week, Everton. Poor in the way they threw that game away. Really, they were leading and then threw it away and everything else. But yeah, I'm going to go with an Everton away win though. I'm going to go Everton away win 1-0. I think Wolves. I don't know. I'm still not. They play better football now. It's prettier football. Still not 100% convinced. I would sack Nuno for Bielsa in a heartbeat, is what Dan says. And that's cool. But Nuno ain't a great manager either. What I'm telling you is now, this is my point on Bielsa. I know we're going back to it. No, who are the great managers in the Premier League right now? Tuchel, Pep, Klopp. Yeah. No fan at those 3 clubs would swap Bielsa for their manager. That's not great. I'm just saying, like, sometimes when people say things, take it to a real life example. If Tuchel's great and Bielsa's great, then you'd be happy to swap, right? Because they're both great. If you're great, you're great. You know what I mean?
Terry, you want to know something? No, I found
Yeah.
out something yesterday that I was found shocking. There's a lot of people who take their public opinion from people, and they don't actually do the eye test. They don't watch football. They generally don't
Have
watch.
you only just realized this happens?
No, because I was speaking to someone yesterday. He lives in Australia. He told me he doesn't watch one Premier League game, but he watches all the highlights and gets all his information from other people. And he watches like the extended highlights because he's sleeping during the time the games and stuff. And I'm like, but you call yourself a football fan? He's like, yeah, I don't watch any of the Premier League games. I rewatch highlights, and I'm like, what? I was so confused because he's like one of those analytics guys. So he looks at all the analytics, he rewatches games, but I didn't know people like that existed. They watch the sport, but they call themselves a fan, but they don't watch any of the games for 90 minutes. It's shocking to me.
Yeah, no, it definitely exists. There we go. But score predictions are in. We're going to take a look now at the fan team. We're going to build my team. So this week, you can join the fan team weekly monster. Now, fantasy football's hard. You know, you can get 10 weeks in now and you can be so far down the leader list that you feel like, oh, I'm going to give up. I can't win. What's great about fan team is that each weekend you can enter a brand new fantasy team for that weekend only. They have 3 different games that you can buy into. The biggest and the best is their 50,000 euro prize draw that they have. That's what I'm entering into myself this week. You can see my team being put together here on the screen, and Agal and I are going to build my team out now, but I do want your help. I do need your help with this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to help me pick who you think I should put into my team this weekend to give me a chance of winning £50,000. I also want you to enter your teams as well. You can do that now. The link's in the description below to buy into this league this weekend and have your say and everything else. So Gal's going to help me do that now. I'm going to put it up onto this is the one I want. That's the screen I want there, where we're both on screen. We can both see it there. So the first question is, and viewers, I do want to take your opinions on this as well. Who should go in goal? Who should we have in goal this weekend?
Mendy?
You think?
But that's expensive.
So just let everybody know the 12:30 games tomorrow lunchtime don't count. It's from 3 o'clock games only.
Yeah,
so
no Arsenal, Leicester. Yeah, I think Mendy should be jumping in there. What do you think? Between Mendy, Ederson, and Alisson, who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Mendy because he's £10 million. Like, it's very expensive. You have 105 million to spend. He's very, very expensive indeed. But yeah, I can't see Newcastle scoring against him. So I think he's going to go in there and be an absolute shoe-in for that place there. So I agree with that completely. I'm going to go to defender. I'm going to go to attackers first. I'm going to go to attackers first. Well, who am I picking this week in the attack, do you reckon? We can't look beyond.
Out, so don't even look at him. Do you back Cristiano to score in this game? No, Mikel Antonio is always shout. First name on the team sheet.
He is. I feel like going for a little bit of Jamie Vardy, you know.
Jamie Vardy might not even be starting, but hey, he always scores against Arsenal.
He does have a habit too. Viewers, what do you all think here? This is where I want your input here. Salah's counted as a midfielder on this, so we will put Salah in a few moments. In fact, I'll just do that now and get it out of the way. I'm going to click on my midfield, and I'm going to 14 million quid. Look at that.
I would put Foden in there also while you're at it.
Would you?
Yeah, I think Foden's nailed in to play and to get involved. Like last week, he got an assist and 2 goals and 2 of the goals weren't even like he just got a pass from Grealish, tapped it in, and then the other one he stole the goal from Jesus.
I get that. I'm going to look here at Everton as well, though, right? Because I feel like a little bit of Damari Gray in there because I think Everton are going to win. I'm going to throw a bit of Gray into that team as well.
There you go.
Which is a pretty good shout. I want to go to see what some of the viewers are saying here. Ronaldo, Naby. Is Naby going to be fit?
Naby's injured.
Is he out? I'm going for it's hard to pick players on teams that I think are going to lose. So I think, do you know what? There's a really good shout there. Son. I think Son's a great shout. I'm not too sure whether he counts as a midfielder or as an attacker.
He's a midfielder, yeah.
He's a midfielder who comes in it. Yeah, Son's in there as well. So Son, Gray, Foden, Salah in the midfield. Half my budget's gone, though.
Defenders.
Let's look at some defenders here. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go to the points so far this season, though. So I kind of Let me get rid of Spurs. Because I can't afford to keep buying all the big time players. We've got to look for some cheaper options who have got a lot of points this year. So like Pinnock there for Brighton as an example, Brentford, sorry, like that's a decent shout. That's a decent shout as far as I can see, because
Let me see my predictions. Who did I predict to get clean sheets? Leeds. No, Leeds. I wouldn't touch Leeds defenders.
it's hard. Like you go to the cheap prices, who like in the cheap seats, like the Palace defenders are all going to concede. Like basically what they do is the teams that you think are going to get battered have the cheaper defenders, which is fair. And then it basically means you've got to try and guess people that are not going to concede. Do you know what I might go with actually? I might go with like a Watford defender, because I think Watford are going to win. So I'm going to throw a Watford defender in there just for luck. Like I'm
Josh King is coming off a hat trick. Would you want to start him?
He ain't going to score again, though, is he? He might not score for another 5 months. Oh, great shout there. Great shout there from Douglas here. Cresswell would be a great option there for West Ham. I bet he's expensive, though. Cresswell. Oh, not that bad. 7.2 mil, which is not bad. I've only got 30 million pounds left, and I got to get another 3 positions.
You put a Norwich defender in there.
Yeah. No, not Norwich. Watford. I think Watford are going to win.
Oh, Watford.
Okay. So I might change that later, but let's have a look at some forwards here. Who are we looking at up front? Who can we get in for good money up front? Gabriel Jesus may score. Who is saying here? Who are we going to go with? Proper strikers that are going to play.
Call me boring, but I'm going Antonio and Ivan Toney.
It's not boring. It could be a good shout. Antonio's a good shout. I'm going to put Antonio in there. It leaves me with 19.6 million. Oh, I don't know, I don't know who I want to go with here. Actually, do you know who I am going to throw in when I find him? Got to find him first. Did he count as a midfielder on this game? Because I picked him. Hang on, where is he at? Marcus Rashford's a midfielder. Damn.
Yeah, because he plays out wide.
Yeah, so don't give him that striker. They don't give him that striker position. Viewers, who are you saying up front? I'm gonna go with someone that the viewers are asking for.
You got 2 more positions.
Ings, maybe. Yeah, the Wolves striker. Yeah, he's
really good. I have him in my team.
Yeah, he's been scoring lots of goals recently. He's also in there. I've got 9 million left, 1 more position. So that's going to be. I can spend 9 million on a defender here.
You could buy Trent probably. Oh no, Trent's too much money.
Who are we looking at here? He won't play. I want someone who might.
Oh no, Chilwell's up.
I want someone who might get an assist or a goal. That's what I'm really want to do. Someone who might score. Who might score?
Livermento?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw him in. Have a laugh. That's my team. I still got I've got 2.1 million left. I'm gonna get rid of this dude here, right? I'm gonna get rid of him, and I'm gonna buy another. So I could buy another midfielder though. I've got 7.5 million. Who can I get for 7.5 million pounds in the midfield who's available? I've already got Gray, Campbell, Townsend. Who might pop up with a goal? Who might do something? Ndombele against Man United.
Try the forward positions to see how much money.
Now, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Ndombele. I think Ndombele is going to tear Man United a new one because we're going to get battered this weekend. That's what I'm going with there. Okay. Which is an interesting one. But that's my team. That's my team that I've picked and that I've put forward. Remember, viewers, you can get your team done now. The links are in the description below. Go and get yourself signed up. Get yourself entered into that. Who am I going to captain, actually? I'm going to captain
Salah.
Yeah.
No one else.
Salah's going to be the captain. Vice captain is going to be Antonio. And I'm going to enter into that tournament just so you can all see that I'm doing it because I like to full disclosure. As you can see, tournament entered, and that's done. That is done for us there. That is entered. Actually, it isn't. I need to just top up my account. Actually, I actually need to top up my account. Give me a second just to do this. I haven't got it up on I haven't got it on the screen, have I? No good. Because I put my details in. I've got to top it up. I was a penny short. That's done now. That's deposited.
Remember last week I told you to put in Watford players, but of course none of the players that I told you to put in didn't score. But
yeah, do you know what it is though? When you do this, it's like it's so difficult because I didn't see Watford winning, and when they were losing, I didn't think back to this, but I was like, yeah, typical. They're going to lose, rare tear, and then boom,
Where did you end up last week?
I ended up, like I was one of the bottom people in the mini league. I was one of the bottom people.
22 out of 71.
Well, that's not bad though. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Salah really helped.
Yeah, so that's my team right now. I'll do it again now. I'm going to enter the team. That's done. That should now go through. That's done, as you can see. So what it also does is, so I'm in that team now. That's all done. Tournament entered, as you can see. I'm going to put it up on the screen so everybody knows that I've done it. There I go, entered into that tournament. It shows you my team and everything else. What we can do as well, that I'm also going to do, is I'm going to create. So that's the prize pool there, £42,000 as it stands right now. There's up to like 5,700 places available. So go and get yourself into that also. What I might go and do at the same time, just as a bit of fun for the terrace, is I'm going to go to my the dashboard here, because I think what I can also do is create like I think I can do this, and I don't want to say it and then and be wrong, but I think you can also create your own break off like mini league as well. I think that can be done. I'll work out later, and if I can, I'll post it into the the live chat, like a code in for it as well. But my team's in there if you guys want to go and enter as well. Look at that. Yeah, you did. That's really good. 104 points last week's very, very good. So if you've done well the last couple of weeks, that's all this is. That's all this is. And if you fancy doing it, give it a go. If you want to play, then get that done. Listen, everybody that's tuned into the stream today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. It means a great deal to us. Remember, we're live 6 p.m. tonight for Friday night on the terrace. It's going to be a very fun night indeed. So make sure you're tuning in at 6 o'clock. Smash that like button before you leave as well, please, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. Thank you very much to Fan Team for powering this today, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.